Fine. So material classification. So the materials is basically classified into three major categories. So namely isometric and orthotropic materials and anisotropic materials. So probably you guys are already aware of isotropic materials and orthotropic materials. For most of the guys, the anisotropic material classification is a quite new thing to see in our analysis or whatever it may be. So mostly we talk about isotropic and orthotropic itself. So in sometimes we need to discuss about that anisotropic materials also. So apart from that, what is the importance of this classification in ANSYS is we have a separate session or separate video for engineering data. So you guys are already aware of what is engineering data. So engineering data is a component so which we have to assign all the necessary data to our problems like Poisson ratio and Young's modulus, like the data which is related to materials. So obviously when we do analysis on a particular component, so that particular component should be manufactured by using any of the materials like steel or wood, whatever it may be. So we need to assign that particular material in ANSYS itself. Either we can use the library material or else you can we have to create that material as a user defined material. Okay, so let's get into the topic. Fine. So as I said before, we have three broad categories like isometric and orthotropic and anisotropic. So first let us see about isotropic materials. So what are the isotropic materials? So for that I have a model to clearly explain this particular concept, like what is isotropic materials. So I can open that. This is a ANSYS mechanical window. So I have created a one block and creating a hex mesh over that. So let us consider this cube may be manufactured by using any of the materials. So I don't relieve the particular material it is. So the concept is, so in isotropic materials, the material properties, these three categories, either isotropic or orthotropic or anisotropics, this is classified only by the properties and behavior of that particular material, how it actually behaves and what are the variation in their properties. Likewise, we can classify into a three categories, right? So in isotropic, the property of the material doesn't vary with mutually perpendicular axis or throughout that structures, right? So let us assume this is an isotropic. So I can say this is an isotropic material. So if I measure this property over here, so here or here or here or else here, or else if you want to measure this property inside the structure, so that is also possible. So like what I will do is, so I will create a cross section over here. See, so see, likewise, so I have created a cross section over here. So whatever the place may be, so if I still measure that particular properties over here, it's still same. So that property, so the properties over here and here, so all the conditions are same in isometric conditions, like whatever the Poisson ratio or stress developed, all the values are remaining same. So that is called isotropic material. Then what about that next thing, orthotropic materials? Orthotropic material is quite exactly opposite to that isometric materials, like I said before. So I just delete this line. So I have a different model for that orthotropic materials. See, we have a cylindrical structure over here. So the best example for orthotropic material is a wood. So wood is a good example for orthotropic material. So why I said wood is an orthotropic material, so I can easily explain over by using this example. So I don't want this. Let us See why the property of that particular component vary with three mutually perpendicular direction. So that is why I am calling this as a orthotropic material. So I can draw one single line over here, right? So this tends, it's about its axial direction, whatever it may, and another line. So I can change the color from here. So this is its radial direction, maybe, and again I shift to black color, and we have another direction called a tangential direction. So all the three direction, the property is obviously varies, right? So in the axial direction, in the radial direction, in the tangential direction, the property of the wood is continuously varies to each and every points. Like we are already know that in any wood session, so the inner side is too harder to penetrate, so like compare with the other side, so outer side of that wood, right? So that is why we call it as a wood as a orthotropic material. And what is that third thing? We have said that anisotropic material. So it's a special case. So we don't usually discuss about that anisotropic materials, but it's very useful. Let us see. I think you have noticed a component over here. So we have a series of 4 plays. So play. So namely 1 and 2, 3, 4. So why should I call it as an anisotropic material? So this property, the property of this material is varies in orthogonal direction. So what does that orthogonal mean? So normally we have a coordinate system like x and y and z. So orthogonal means a plane is created. So you can locate that isometric button over here. A small sky blue color ball will be located over here. See here. So if I create a plane over like this, so if I create a plane over like this, so we can create a 3 plane over 3 mutually perpendicular planes. So that is called orthotropic plane. So if you want to see how the orthotropic planes will look like, so you can just Google like what is that orthogonal plane. So you can easily assume that what is that orthogonal planes, right? So in that orthogonal plane, the entire properties will be changed. So that is why we call it as this material as a anisotropic material. Like if I say if I apply a force over here and tensile force over here and another force over here, so these 3 forces and these 3 forces are same, but the reaction force and the behavior of the material is changes according to that sides, right? So while it is having more stiffness on this float, but it doesn't have this much of stiffness on this force. So due to the structures depend upon the layer. So what type of binding materials we have used over here, like a binding material is typically a type of fevicol, whatever it may, to bind the 2 layers together. So we have a 4 layers, at least we need a 3 binding layers over here to hold that 4 different structure into a single one, right? So that is called anisotropic materials. Hope you will understand that what is the difference between isometric and orthotropic and anisotropic. So but we have one interesting question, right? In real time we don't have actually isotropic material. No material is having a properties in uniformly distributed state, right? Because if you take something or steel or whatever it may, so the best example for isometric material is steel and glasses, and the best example for orthotropic material is wood, and the best example for anisotropic material is a composite one. So we have a composite plate over here, so CP, and so in real time we don't have an isometric material, it's a theoretical state. So all the materials we have seen as a orthotropic material, and in some cases we have anisotropic materials what is that, composite plates, right? So hope you will understand this basic concept of isotropic, anisotropic and orthotropic. That is far enough for our answer session, like to understand that how to create isotropic material and anisotropic material or orthotropic material by using engineering data. So in our next session, we will clearly explain about the entire engineering data session. So what are the features are available over that, and so hope you will like the video. So if you feel this video will help you, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. So see you on next video.